On Investor Day, we put together quite a panel for a pregame show out at Southeast Metro Park. We've been there before. We've done this before. This was just another extension of it, and man, did we have some fun. So I tried to crunch this down a bit. We were going to live stream it on the day, but the cell tower got overwhelmed, and we didn't have a Starlink to make it work, so here we are. And yeah, got a little bit of sunburn there. I should probably be more careful. But in the meantime, please enjoy. We trimmed down some bits. Forgive the ugly background and the occasional wind. In any case, here's a great roundtable with Ellie, Herbert, Alexandra, myself at times, Trevor, and who knows, maybe some audience participation. I'm Brian. Welcome to my Tesla weekend.
Pick anything you want, eh?
All kinds of prints there.
I'll go for the shirts, yeah.
You didn't get a rival ticket?
I did not. I didn't know.
All right. So can I get a warm hand for our panel? Ellie, Herbert, and Alexandra.
Oh, all right. All right, everyone. Welcome. I'm Ellie in Space. We've done some introductions here. And Herbert is living in the Seattle area. You came from
Santa Barbara.
And this is your first time here?
It is. First time in Texas.
Oh. Welcome. Yeah,
Oh, good.
we need to hear you loud and clear.
There we go. First time in Texas.
Welcome. And you were here for Cyber Rodeo.
Last year was the greatest time of my life. I'm hoping tomorrow is going to be better. Today. Today. Today.
It is Investor Day. Yes. What are we most excited for today?
What am I most excited for today? I mean, every day with Tesla seems to be historic. So I'm kind of like repeating myself every time I say this feels like a historic day. But am I wrong?
Historic.
It's historic, right? Because this is a day that we're going to see Tesla become Tesla Energy, not just a car company. They're going to come out and talk about fully sustainable future for Earth. I mean, this is the day. We're going to hear the plan.
Right.
We're going to hear how they can
3.
actually get there, the dream, right? And then if we actually get to see the robo-taxi, I think this is going to be a moment. Even if it's like not a beautiful car, it's going to take years, but this is the day that we're going to finally see when robo-taxi comes. So I think it's going to be beautiful. Yeah, Franz has said this is going to be his greatest. Yeah. So yeah, those are the two things I'm looking forward to. Yeah.
Do you want me to call you Tesla Boomer Mama, or do you want me to call you Alexandra?
Whatever you want. Actually, I had my kids reaching out lately, and they said, "Isn't it ridiculous that these people call you?" And I'm like, "No, it's not. That's what I am." So that is it. So happy to be here, and I agree with Herbert. I think this is going to be quite historic. I don't think anybody of us was around for Master Plan 1. I don't think most of us were around for Master Plan 2. So here we are today getting presented Master Plan 3 or 3 to pretend that I speak French. And so I'm really happy to be part of it. I said to Herbert earlier, this is like history in the making, and it's so nice to be part of it, to have the feeling that we're witnessing this, and in 5, 10, 20 years we'll say, look, we were there. We were there. Oh, and one information I just got. So many people were like, oh my God, you didn't get invited. I didn't get invited. I have so many shares. You have so many shares. I just heard all they did was invite 250 people.
Yeah.
And the theory is this is mainly fund managers, this is mainly analysts, and this is very targeted to a very small group of people, and we just watch it on the screen. So nobody be upset. I think this is all good.
Well, and I heard, to add on to that only 50 of those are retail investors.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
You got really lucky if you got a ticket.
We would have all been number 51. Right?
It's too bad, because we all could have fit in Giga Factory. But,
And we would have cheered much louder than any of those.
well, hopefully you get inside of there soon, because I've been in there twice, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I know. I wish. I wanted to go obviously to hear the presentation, but even more, I wanted to see the factory.
Right.
But it is what it is. There'll be other occasions. Shareholder Day, 16th of May. Who knows? Maybe we'll get in then.
You'll be back.
Exactly. Austin.
Well, and obviously this is, Investor Day. I'm sure many of us here in the crowd are actual shareholders of Tesla, but Elon pointed out on Twitter that this is not just Investor Day for shareholders, it's for humanity, for life on Earth. So can you guys kind of touch on that and why we should all care.
I don't know. I want to ask everybody else here, what do you guys think? Why did he say that? I mean, what's that?
Yeah.
Scale. This is not just for investors of Tesla. This is for all of humanity.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty confident of him to say this, and I think that's why I'm excited, because we know that he's always thought big and has big plans, but he always accomplishes it. And when he then says, I now see a path to, number one, Tesla's going to be the largest company in the world, and then he says, I see a path for a fully sustainable future. That means he's got a plan. It's all worked out. He's already figured out how they're going to get there. And that's why I think he's now able to say, this isn't just for investors of Tesla. This is going to change humanity. So, but then, yeah, we all get too excited, I think, sometimes. So we have to calm down.
Well, maybe Alexandra could talk about how the ESG isn't for real.
Exactly.
That's what I meant by real Earth thing.
Yes.
ESG, is that a real thing?
Well, I don't think I want to really bore you with that today, but just let's all keep in mind, this is much nastier than it sounds. So keep your eyes out for ESG. This is boiling a crisis like the 2008. They're trying to shift money to what they can put a nice ESG label on, including GM, but also including lots of third world countries and stuff. So I just want everybody to be, read the newspaper with open eyes, like you do now when you read about Tesla. Just be aware of it. I mean, I will talk about it when it's a better setting than here. I don't want to spoil your day, but please stay aware of it. It's really, really dangerous, and this will explode. This may explode in 3 months or in 3 years, but this is going to explode and cost us a lot of money. So the earlier we are aware of it and help stop it, the better it's going to be.
Well, one thing that we all share in common here is that we love Tesla. So in case you guys don't know your background for how you got into Tesla, maybe
Sure.
you guys can share a little bit.
So I invested in Tesla in 2012. I was driven because of the mission. In fact, I was just telling a story that I invested in this company called Ballard 10 years before 2012. Fuel cells in buses. I lost a lot of money. I was like really hopeful this was it. And then I discovered Tesla in 2012. And then when he said, I'm going to invest $95 million of my own money into it, I said, okay, well, he's going to put in money, I'll put in money. And then I'm the kind of person that I've invested all of my money in Apple. I love Apple for all the various reasons why people fall in love with that stock, and I did very, very well with that. But since 2012 to now, I've been switching to Tesla. And about a year ago, I just completely went all into Tesla, and I'm missing those beautiful dividends, or it was just so beautiful. Those cash that comes in, I miss that so much. But yeah, so I'm just driven by the mission, and then of course I think that, as you guys have all know this is a once in a generation company that is like no other. I not financial advice, but that's where I'm gonna. If I can get more money on cash, I'm gonna keep buying more stock. So that's just how I see things unfolding, and we're all seeing it happen, right? Despite the year that happened last year, right? Yeah.
How about you? How did you get into this and become Tesla boomer mama?
This is a crazy story. It really is. So I'm an investor since March 2020. We had electric cars. We had the BMW i3 in 2014 when we arrived. Is it too close still? So I started in March 2020, and it was funny because we had electric cars. We arrived in the United States in 2014, and the first thing my husband wanted was an electric car, because in Europe we had problems getting those. So we got a BMW i3, which was their compliance car from BMW to have the California credits, right? Cute little car, little range, but we loved it being electric. 3 years later, the lease came up. We had a Tesla reservation for a Model 3, but they were in production hell, so couldn't get a hand on it, needed a car, got a Chevy Bolt, had that for 3 years in a lease, and then came 2020, and obviously there we got the Model 3. And we did a test drive on Model 3, came back from that test drive, and I said, all in Tesla. And my husband is like, you must be kidding. I said, no, all in Tesla, all in. And he goes, well, I guess I'm married to you, I'm listening, right? And there we go. And so we went all in then, and since then I've poured every cent in it. I mean, Some of you know I still go sometimes to restaurants, but when I don't go to restaurants,
Expensive restaurants.
Exactly. When I don't spend my money on food, it just goes to Tesla. And I said to Lori, my friend today, it's as if this money is gone. You know, I don't use my Tesla money to think, oh, this is liquidity that I can pull off. It's gone because it's gone for years to come. And so that was 2020. Had no clue about Twitter. I had a Twitter account a long time ago, but sleeping. And started doing my research, and there came all these Twitter people up, and I was like, oh gosh, I have to get more into Twitter. And then I thought, okay, I have to change my handle, so what is it? Well, Tesla, I'm a boomer, and I'm a mama of 5, so there was Tesla Boomer Mama. And for a couple of months, I was relatively quiet, like we're all, and then I stumbled upon this injustice of the credit rating. And I was 7 years a VP senior credit analyst at Moodys, and I thought, this is it. These bastards are at it again. I left them 20 years ago, and I thought, this time I'm not sitting on my mouth. So I started talking about it. Then I had 20 followers, not 20,000, 20, like one less than 21, right? Today I have 45,000. And I'm like, what do these people want? I have no clue what they want. They must be getting it because they keep on following, and I love it. And I became the big mouth for Tesla. That's just it.
A big mouth for Tesla. I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I might as well give a little bit of background. I am a former TV news anchor. I covered TV news for about 10 years, and I started making videos about Starlink. Then I started making videos about SpaceX, and that evolved into all things Elon, and then naturally Tesla. So that's kind of my background. But let's also talk about, I did make a video 2 months ago about Tesla choosing Mexico. So
Yes.
a little bit of a scoop, but what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, it makes obvious sense. I mean, completely obvious. Although Brian has been saying, right? You guys know that he's been saying that he thought that
Brian.
Giga Mexico was a. Yeah, we're just talking about how you thought that Giga Mexico wasn't a thing
It wasn't.
until it became a
was.
thing.
Are you sure about that?
It wasn't because we've heard rumor after rumor, and there was no validation, there was no verification, there was no fact check on it. If you're not going to fact check it, it's not a real story.
Yeah.
Any of these stories could be true. Canada was a done deal. Indonesia was a done deal. We see these every day. And then, and Reuters in December said, we're going to hear definitely within days. And then in January, they said, we're going to hear within hours. And then in February, they said, we're going to hear like right now. And then now they're saying, we already heard. And we're like, we didn't. Now, I believe this is probably going to happen, but we got to stick to the facts.
You don't need to stick to the facts.
Giga
Mexico is a done deal. Giga Canada is a done deal. Giga Indonesia is a done deal. Giga South Korea is a done deal.
You heard it here first.
Whenever you hear,
You heard it here first.
Whenever you hear these rumors coming, it's because it's obviously there's a lot of conversation, negotiation that needs to happen, and it takes a long time, 6 months to a year.
Sure.
And what's going to stop Tesla from building more gigafactories in every single continent? It's going to happen. And then now the IRA came. There's nothing going to stop Mexico, Canada. They need to jump in now.
The president of Mexico, López Obrador, said just a week ago that there wasn't enough water in Monterrey.
No. What's happening there, Brian, is because not that I know.
They're doing the Berlin approach
but
where they use far less water.
There are multiple states in Mexico, and they're all vying for each other.
Yeah.
So the president had to come in and try to figure out, okay, which state should get what. And so they're all kind of like sending bad, that one has no much water. That's going to cause environmental issues. And so they needed to just come together as a country to decide, where is Tesla going to invest in? Yeah. They might even invest in 2 factories in Mexico there.
I got a factory, you got a factory, everybody got a factory.
Right.
You're speaking out your Giga.
Yeah. The problem with the water can be mitigated. In Berlin, they were told they can't use as much water. In Berlin, they use something like 500 gallons of water to make an entire car, which may sound like a lot, but it isn't when you look at it.
Yeah, but this is Europe.
Blue jeans. Blue jeans take 1,200 gallons to make 1 pair of blue jeans.
Yeah. This is Mexico. So the president of Mexico comes in and says, okay.
Right, but if there isn't,
we'll do it.
If you're going to make the aquifer collapse, you might have bigger problems than whether or not you had permission.
Rainwater catchment.
They're going to recycle. If it's cost effective in Berlin, it's certainly cost effective in other locations. You're not going to find a much more expensive market in which to hire labor nice and windy, than you will there.
It's windy a lot here in Austin. I just moved here about 3 weeks ago, and I'm learning that. So.
Boy, you can hear it on the speakers. That's nice. Yeah, and I do get a lot of heat on the Mexico thing. Every time the next rumor comes up, people on Twitter are like, "Ha ha, you dumb bastard!" It's like, no, I'm just sticking to the facts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts about Giga Mexico?
I don't. I mean, I think we need so many gigafactories. It doesn't really matter which one comes out first. Like I explained earlier, I think it was in one of Herbert's streams. Negotiations are so tough for these things because there's so much involved. There's the city involved, there's the local state involved, and then obviously the Mexico state. And then you also need to have the same negotiations in Canada, in Asia, whatever. So the first one coming out is it's just good, but they have to keep moving. Remember, we expected one end of last year. So this is overdue, and I'm very happy it's happening.
And I think that today is the right day to find out about a new factory, because today is probably the most likely day we would hear about a new vehicle. Because we don't need a new factory until we've got a new platform to build.
Oh, let me ask you all a question.
Oh, sure.
Because this is a big debate. Would you rather have Tesla now at the first project having a smaller car, hatchback, Model 2 or Q, whatever you want to call it, or the van? So let's lift up the hands. Who is first?
So hand for compact.
Hand for compact.
That's more than half. Hand for van.
There you go. That's
so
funny.
I'd say about
That's divided, right?
Yeah, 65, 35 split.
And I think it's actually going to be interesting because we're having Corey tonight at the bar, at Clive's bar, and he did a video, very good video with Herbert, where he said, oh, a small compact car makes no sense. They'll never have the margin in it. They should go for the bigger market, for the SUV, for the van, for whatever. And I mean, if somebody knows it, it's Munro's team, right? So I'm very split, and I want to hear him tonight. If they announce the compact today, I want to hear what Munro has to say because they really advised against it.
Well, so my thought on Sandy's team in general is they're very good at the engineering, but they don't always know what the market is. That's not their job. That's not their core competency. And
I mean, they sure know more than me. That's
well, they should, but I mean, they were confident in Arcimoto and. They were
paid to be confident.
They were paid. Well, that's a consideration. And he's out there saying that the Nikola hydrogen semi-truck is amazing and it's going to be great. And Nikola fans take that to mean that Nikola's going to be successful in the deployment of hydrogen trucks. And that's not what Sandy said. That's not what he's saying, that the technology appears like it's going to work, not that it's going to be profitable or a good idea at all. So
I think there will not be a compact car.
Wow.
Wow, Herbert.
Oh,
You heard it here.
Why do I say that? Because it doesn't make sense. What they're going to do instead is create a compact car that is dedicated robotaxi. They're not going to sell a compact car that's going to have a steering wheel and a pedal that you're going to drive. He's already said in the past, right? Why would you do that? Because even if I make 20 million of those, it will take us 20, 30 years to change the entire 2 billion fleet of ICE cars. The robotaxi is equivalent to 5 cars to 1. So if you're going to make a car, make it a robotaxi. So I think that they're going to announce the robotaxi, dedicated robotaxi. We're going to see what this is. They're going to probably announce a modular platform for vans. So there's no need to have this debate. There's no compact car.
So when you say modular platform, you mean it would be able to be what?
I've been asking this question to every person I've interviewed.
Cargo van,
what did you guys think when you heard the word
bus?
modular? What did you guys think when you heard modular? I assumed that it meant to be like a platform, the skateboard platform, and then you could put in a robotaxi. Then you could put if you want a 4-person, a 6-person car, then you kind of can put something on top that makes it a 6-person car, an 8-person car, 12-person car.
You mean the drivetrain, right? That they have the bottom.
Yeah. A blank slate.
Yeah.
A shuttle bus that can become anything.
And then the other thing is that and how many people here agree with me or not, it is not based on the Model 3 or Y platform. This is based on the Cybertruck platform. We're going to see it like similar, steel. If you have a dedicated robotaxi, you don't need a front or a rear. You don't need that. Maybe not even need windows. Agreed. But I agree.
I agree.
But would you be disappointed today if they did not show a dedicated robotaxi design?
Yeah,
So you don't
I
want them to do it, but I think they've been telegraphing that they are going to ship. It's nowhere here.
If you mean without a wheel,
Yeah.
I agree that I don't.
for one.
I don't need to see that today.
Minimum 2 years out, and I think for the investment community, he needs to show something tomorrow.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I
Agreed.
agree. And on top of it, I
Kicks the can down the line.
Yeah.
I completely agree. And on top of it, if it really confirms what we just heard, only 250 people, only 50 retail investors, because we all know much more than these other 200 guys, let's just face it. So these other 200 guys, they come to Tesla like they have been yesterday to Ford or the day before to General Electric, right? They're on road tours to see companies all the time, but they don't know Tesla the way we know them. So this may be today quite elementary in the education of what is Tesla all about, and for us it may actually be a bit boring. And I agree with you, if you want to give them food so that they go in the next couple of weeks buy Tesla shares, you have to give them some beef.
Yeah,
like
this
something real.
is what I think they're going to do to address what you just said, right? They're going to talk about the Model 3, and they're going to talk about the revised Model 3 that's going to be under $30,000. This is Project Highland. They're going to talk about that, right? A brand new advanced production thing in the line that's going to have it's going to have the front and rear casting that's going to reduce the price so much. That can be sold immediately this year. And that's going to, if I was an investor and I heard that, oh my God, you can now sell a car. Doesn't matter if it's compact, but it's a Model 3, maybe a variant of Model 3. And then you say, oh, we've got a robotaxi design that will be ready in 3 years, 5 years. You kind of like play off that this is the immediate. It's going to happen right away.
Compact for China only.
And do you think they already reprogrammed the whole?
It's
Me
most likely
too.
going to come out in China first.
I
Yeah,
agree
the
with
design was supposed to be there. They need it the most.
They need it the most. They produce the cheapest. They can export to Europe, which is the second biggest market for it. And I think they are ready tomorrow.
People are saying that Giga Mexico is all about the compact car, though.
Entirely possible, but it
Yeah,
could
but
also
it's not
be
built
the
yet.
modular van.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still think that we're going to see the 2 or the Tau or the Q as a smaller platform where it's where all 3 of the design studios get to make their own take. So you might have a hot hatch for Europe, you might have a city car for China, you might have Herbert shaking his head thinking I'm crazy.
Yeah. and Herbert, I actually have a name for the compact car.
Yeah.
I think it should be QT.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
Right, for the girls.
Yes. I want to take another little survey. Who here has a Cybertruck reservation?
Yeah, 2.
Raise of hands.
Holy
So
cow.
you guys
Couple.
can't see it, but a lot of you guys.
One or two
Wow.
people.
For Cyberlander.
What about for Cyberlander? All right, not as many. What do we expect to hear today about Cybertruck?
That is
What do you
right.
want to hear today about Cybertruck?
I want the price, the different models, the price, and how they roll it out. Do they start with the high end? Do they start
So I'm the only one that keeps saying controversial stuff.
Here we go.
It's a drama. It's Herbert.
They should not talk about the Cybertruck today at all. Why? Because it deserves its own big, giant presentation. They'll mention it, sure, but I don't want to hear the price. I just want to hear it's on track. It's we have like, I don't know, 50 Cybertrucks out
you
there.
order one to
We're
come
testing
here?
it. Design is locked down, or design is never locked down for any car, but it deserves it.
The manufacturing line for Cybertruck right now.
Yes, that's what we want to hear.
It's being built. They'll probably get a tour of that.
That's right.
And they'll probably get to drive the Cybertruck.
Sure.
Like that will definitely happen.
Yeah.
But like the rest of it.
Yeah, it deserves its own big, giant presentation, coming out party, that
I
kind of
want
stuff.
to
And we would all like to be there.
Yeah.
So Joe Tegtmeyer, you guys can't hear him, is here. He says he thinks everything will be broader themed today.
What does he know? He only has videos of factories and secret
flying
stuff.
around.
Joe, you do great work.
Joe, do a fly through here right now.
Yeah, where's your drone?
Yeah, we want to see it tomorrow. Definitely bring this up.
So do we have any questions from the peanut gallery right back here, nice and loud?
Hey, what do you think is happening in that 10,000-pound egg press that went to Asia?
Oh, that's
Our audience member says, what do we think is happening to the 10,000-pound Giga press that went to Asia?
I do believe that is for the compact car that's going to be produced there.
We have no idea if that is for Tesla or if it's
How
a
do you know?
competitor.
Well, so
Do we?
we believe it was for Tesla because it was painted red.
I thought you were Mr. Facts.
It was painted red. That is a fact. If it's
no.
Tesla red.
Did he just say earlier that,
Normally, Hydro presses are blue. So the fact
China,
that
everything is colored red.
that is actually a fair point, but I believe it was Tesla red that was. But also the 9,000-ton press is too large, I think, for a compact, unless you're going to be doing a single piece casting. But if that would negate the whole purpose of a structural battery pack. Now you've got redundant structures again. So I'm not sure on that. And a lot of people, but what you could do is cast higher up into the structure with it. So maybe that's what it would be for.
That's the image we saw that was for this. Casting the time all the castings, right?
Yeah, the invitation images.
Seems like that's going to be.
Yeah.
Well, those look like stampings to me still. When Corey took it apart on Twitter but
Elon
yeah,
himself
we've got
has
just
been
a couple
quoted.
hours until we find out, man. It's exciting. And by the way, when I'm wrong, that's great. I'm happy about that. I mean, maybe not super happy, but that's what we're here for, is to learn and get, as Herbert would say, brighter every day. And if you haven't checked out Tesla Herbert's channel, Brighter with Herbert, he gets the best experts on. He gets Alexandra on. He gets me on
You see how he
Fridays.
did that? There were experts. And
No, I put you first, and then I mentioned, and also he's got some jackass on Fridays named Brian. Yeah, and I just get lucky because the news happens to break on Friday mornings.
Yeah, it
So,
does.
Right.
I love when Brian shows up on Herbert's show
Yeah.
because he makes Herbert laugh.
I know, he's very,
He needs to lean into his
the
comedy
guy's
more.
an undiscovered
Do a
gem.
bunch of clickbait
Yeah.
Because humor is what?
Yeah.
it's the best medicine except for
Laughter.
a broken rib. Yeah.
He is very,
well,
very
what
funny.
What I like to do is I take my failed career in comedy and lobby it into a failed career in YouTube. It's wonderful, you guys. It's wonderful.
Brian, can you give us a little bit of your background and how you got into Tesla as well?
Oh, sure. So So my background, I was a banker. I was a small business owner. I sold a business. It gave me some money and some flexibility to pursue what I really want to do, which is comedy. So I spent about 10 years doing comedy, and boy, did that work out great. But all the while, I'm following Tesla, I'm following tech, I'm using my spreadsheet skills I learned as a banker. And I was actually counting squares in Shanghai before I had a channel, and I would suggest it to other channels and say, guys, you could do, and they're like, holy shit, that is not a thing I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And I had all these very complicated ideas, and so finally I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna start my own channel. And
then he made two.
well, and then I've got my live channel, because there are people who won't watch unless they can chat in the comments, and there are people who won't sit for an hour and listen to me ramble with Bear from Bear's Workshop. But that's how I got into that.
So why My Tesla Weekend?
Because when I started the channel, nobody was doing anything on weekends. All the other channels would run Monday through Friday.
There's still not a lot, I think.
There's still not very many on weekends. And so that was why I did that. I followed Tesla obsessively for years before I had the channel. I was fortunate enough to buy in the dip of 19. I put 75% of my IRA in it. My friends and family said I was crazy and I was going to lose it all. And I said, I follow this in ways you don't. And when Alexandra was talking earlier, she said that these analysts think they know all the things, but they don't know a tenth of what you guys know about Tesla. So, and if you look at their returns, the best ones of them, your returns might beat theirs because you follow one company close enough to actually know what it's doing. And, I see these people, oh, this person is corrupt. They got 25, 30% returns in bad, and I'm like, okay, well, I am not the smartest guy out there, and my returns are 15, 20x, so I don't know what to tell you. It's, so the fact that you're here, the fact that you're engaged, the fact that you know who all of us are, it gives you an insight to the company that
They can't avoid us, that's what it is.
that it gives you an insight that is going to make you, able to see the winds before they change. You know you know what all the risks are, you know what all the headwinds and the tailwinds are, and you know how to make a qualified decision.
I mean, last year you learned what all the risks are, so that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you tell us a joke?
Oh, God. Quality joke.
Why does an elephant have 4 feet? Because 6 inches wouldn't do him any good.
I've got measurement joke that I won't get into, but no, what I would say is
Okay, got it. It took me a while.
the big thing about Tesla is that, we don't know where we're going, we don't know what the future is. I just hope that, someday I die in my sleep like my grandfather, not screaming like everyone else in the car. and with a Tesla, maybe we can do that. We can sleep while we drive. That's my hope. Yeah. Yes.
You made us laugh.
There was a career.
I want to take another poll. Who here has a Tesla Semi on order?
Where's
We got one behind.
One.
Nice.
One.
We're at school. We have school in San Diego. Advanced manufacturing.
Oh, good.
Were you bummed to not hear an updated price back in November?
No, I mean, if it flexes a little bit, it won't really make much of a difference because we do so much material hauling. We do welding construction. Yeah.
Wow. Saving 15 to 20,000 a year in fuel.
Yeah, in California.
Trevor, can I have you come over here for a second? Yes. So I want everyone on camera to see this Occupy Mars shirt. Occupy Mars is obviously the main mission for Elon Musk. How does Investor Day and a path to sustainable, energy for humanity fit into accomplishing this?
Yeah, I think a lot of people here, they look at Elon as a piecemeal thing. Like we have the idea of what he's doing today that we're all focused on with Tesla, but what we know is that this is all just a paradigm in his mind to get to Mars. And from spending some time down in Brownsville, for anybody who hasn't been down to Starbase, I mean, that's something you just have to do. I mean, especially being so close, it'll really blow your mind. And I think that every piece of Elon's missions is coming towards that, and we're seeing that happen right now. So Investor Day is an exciting point for just seeing the money side of it, for him to develop really what we know is going to be the future Mars rover, and to develop these systems on Earth that they really need a lot of funding to get together to be able to do these habitations on Mars and things like that. So I think that there's a huge growth of excitement, and all of these things come together, and it's really fun. It's great. Yeah.
What do you guys think about that same question?
Yeah, that's exactly why I was saying that the new Gen 3 platform is going to be based on a Cybertruck, because it's the only thing that can survive in a Mars. You're not going to see these silly cars that we have.
No, it's a pressurized version of the Cybertruck.
Exactly, and I was saying that I don't actually think it's going to have any windows at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Another controversial thing. And the seats are going to be in the middle, and you're facing outwards.
So you think
Well, I'll
it's
tell you,
No.
the castings
He's like,
will be,
no.
the castings and suspension would be too
Okay.
heavy duty because the gravity is a third less.
There I come for these facts again.
Oh, yeah.
I come with my facts again.
Yeah, we have to test it on surfaces that exist here, like down in the Arctic and
Yeah,
the
the
northern
Arctic
areas too,
and the
to see how
desert
that
and-
really works out. But the idea of a windowless, you're thinking it's going to be a kind of cambered system, all pressure vessel.
Right.
Yeah, it could work, but I think it wouldn't be as pretty. And I think
No.
Elon's going to be like,
No, I
let's
know,
make this
I
as
know.
sexy as possible,
Yeah.
right?
And look
Yeah.
at the gangway from Dragon is beautiful. The suits are beautiful. And and when we talk about synergy between the different companies, we talked about this earlier, can you name another car company that has aerospace grade metallurgists on hand to help you say, oh, nickel's in tight supply, you need a different ultra hard steel that doesn't yet exist, we need to patent it. Yeah, we'll get on that. And if you look at the different design aesthetics of some of the SpaceX things, you can see Franz von Holzhausen's fingerprints on them. And there's a lot of back and forth that just kind of works.
I just interviewed Julian. I don't know if you saw that, but basically he was saying that there's actually patents now that the glass can be antennas for Starlink. And so maybe that's the opposite of what I was just saying. That maybe just the Cybertruck, and he showed me that the Cybertruck has a lot of glass, and they will use that to be the antenna.
And remind the audience who Julian is.
Wow, watch my video.
Watch this video.
He's an airline
We
pilot.
need to give context.
He has an airline pilot. He has a software startup called Dynamic, and you should see his videos of what they do. But they basically map every single Starlink. How come you don't know this guy?
He's great.
I don't know. Should I interview him?
Yeah. How did I get him ahead of you? I mean, like.
I introduced him to
Yeah, you did. You did. So.
I did interview Mike Puchol, who's been tracking Starlink.
Who cares?
Oh, okay.
This guy matters. This guy's what matters. I'm just kidding.
You're feeling spicy today.
Spicy today. Yeah, just
She's
kidding.
excited.
Because we're friends. We're friends.
That's the thing. Yeah.
That's the thing. So we're all friends.
I think the most important thing about the Cybertruck too is imagine the idea that you're buying a vehicle that's like made out of a spaceship.
Yeah.
And where are we in history where that's what's happening? Where
Yeah.
not only are you getting something that's amazing, but you're buying a piece of that future every time you get it. And we talk about investing and Investor Day.
Yeah.
There's nothing else that compares to this or this community. That's it. So no.
And in case, we obviously have some YouTubers and some Twitter boomer mamas here, but Trevor is actually pretty big on a different platform, focused on Tesla too. You moved to Austin pretty recently as well, right?
Yeah, 3 weeks ago, yeah.
So you're like TikTok famous in the Tesla
Yeah.
world.
both
Yeah.
weeks
Yeah.
ago. Okay.
Oh, we-
stop.
Oh, yeah.
This is my first time meeting him in
Oh yeah,
person,
yeah,
for the
yeah.
record.
Oh yeah.
In public.
I've been in Florida.
Explain that to my
Oh,
wife
that's fair.
after.
That's fair.
Domicile in Texas. Can you help me?
Oh yeah.
Domicile. I need domicile. I just need your address. That's all.
Yeah.
I do have a UPS box now. But tell me, you focus on Tesla.
Yeah, so the Tesla channel. So during, so I'm a Canadian, and I've been fortunate enough to move with my family down here to Texas. But we had some severe lockdowns up there in Canada, so we were kind of locked in our homes for a long time. Now I had bought this new Tesla, and it was kind of sitting there in the garage, and I decided to just kind of make some videos about it, and they caught on.
Yeah.
And I made one really silly one. You were joking about this, but I made a really silly video where I was in the back of the car, and my wife summoned it. You've seen it, I'm sure. And it got 34 million views within a very short
What
period of time.
were you doing?
So I got in the back of the car, and I'm like, Tesla, I've had too much to drink, drive me home.
Yeah.
And then my wife summoned the car because we were in a private neighborhood.
Gotcha.
And then boom, that blew up. And,
Nice.
yeah, that's right. It was a funny video, but I was during COVID. We were kind of locked down, and we started making these, and then I kept doing Tesla videos after that, just following through with everything. But yeah,
Not you.
yeah,
So you may have seen his videos.
that one probably. Yeah.
So what made you move down to Austin?
Oh, well, you know what? We fell in love with Texas a long time ago, and we've been visiting Starbase for the last 3 years, basically since Hoppy started coming down there, and we're like, how do we come down here longer term? And the only way to really do it was to start a business here, so that's what we did. Yeah.
Neat.
Trevor, version 11 is going to come out, right?
Yeah.
And I have a theory, again, another theory, guys, that tell me if I'm wrong, okay? I think that it's going to go viral. And
Version 11.
Yeah, the reason is if they have summon and reverse summon, and I think that's what's going to go viral, because if you go into any parking lot like Walmart, Target, and then you see these cars going, picking up the person, dropping them off, and then finding parking spots, that people are just going to shock. They're going to take videos of it, and that's going to go crazy. And it's one thing to be driving autopilot in the highway. Everybody has that kind of feel.
Yeah.
And then nobody believes that it can turn left and right, but it's but the parking lot, I think, is going to just make everybody freak out. So it's similar to your video that you just did.
I'm surprised that Smart Summon isn't more viral. I feel like
It doesn't work that right now.
sometimes.
I'll tell you why. So the biggest problem with Smart Summon, and I'm sure you guys have seen this, if somebody's actually trying to summon their car to the front, it causes such a scene that people go in front of the car. So people will, you'll have some people that will try to stop the car thinking it's in neutral, and then you're going to have people who are out there just trying to film it and watch, and then the car stops. And so the whole thing gathers a lot of attention, and then it stops working.
There's a learning curve for the audience.
What's the name of your channel?
Trev's Great Life.
Trev's what?
On TikTok, Trev's Great Life.
Yeah, same with Twitter and TikTok.
TikTok. What's that?
What's that? You're serious?
Yeah.
It's not really ever changed here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Direct channel to China.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this part of it up. We're going to have another panel coming up in about 10-15 minutes. We've got drone pilots Brad Sloan, Brian Rashetsky, and Joe Tegtmeyer here,
Woo.
and we're going to be having a discussion with them and finding out what they're excited about. And I do want to thank Tesla Boomer Mama, who you can follow. Alexandra Mertz on Twitter. Trev's Great Life, we already gave you the plug. Ellie in Space on YouTube, on Twitter. If eSheriff TV on Twitter.
Thank you.
And if you haven't checked out her stuff, for a lot of the SpaceX, for a lot of the NASA stuff generally, she's got some really fun, really great content, and the quality is like high enough that I look at it and I'm like, oh, I can't do this. I can't do this.
I'm honored.
I also got to work on this a little bit. I'm down 13 pounds since December. Just got to keep that going. Texas has not helped. The brisket was wonderful. And Herbert, Brighter with Herbert, you can find him at Herbert Ong, O-N-G,
Thank you guys.
on Twitter and on YouTube. And yeah, thank you guys so much for all your time.
Wow.
Thank you.
And let's do some more. Ed, where are you at? We got some more. There we go. We got some more. You guys are free to. We're gonna do some more giveaways real quick with the raffle tickets. So there it is, and there you go. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, it really was a lot of fun. We had a great time. We'll do it again, I'm sure. What do we miss? What do we misunderstand? Now, bear in mind, you get the benefit of hindsight in watching this, but it was such a great conversation. These are such great people that I just had to share it. So stay tuned, stay juicy, and don't forget to, leave your comments below. Subscribe, like, hate the video, give it the thumbs down if that's what feels appropriate to you. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I'm just glad you're here. And thanks as always to my Patreons who get early access, bonus content, and ad-free experience, all that good stuff. Help keep the channel running. Quite literally, they're the reason this channel exists. They're the reason we were able to go to Texas. They're the reason we're able to hold events like this. They don't make money. They lose money. But that's okay, because we're here for the community. At least some of us are. Some of us are. Other people are here for themselves, but, they're successful too, so congratulations to them, I guess. Oh, my panel was great. My panel was great.